This is CPM Calculus, Chapter 3, number 154. So sketch a graph and find the equation for the line tangent to the curve at y is equal to 3 times the cube root of x minus 2 at x equals to 3. Then find another point on the curve with the same slope as the tangent. Okay, so let's start off by sketching this graph. All right, so draw your x and your y axis. Right? Y is equal to 3 times the cube root of x minus 2. Well, we know that that is the same thing as y is equal to 3 times x minus 2 to the power of 1/3, written with fractional exponents instead of roots, right? This is just going to be the graph of the parent graph, y is equal to x to the 1/3, shifted over to the right 2 units. Right, so it's going to be shifted over to the right 2 units and stretched vertically by a factor of 3. You can use your calculator to assist. It's going to look like this. Ooh. Right, and we can use our calculators. Y is equal to 3 times x minus 2 to the power of 1/3. Graph this, and yes, looks similar, right? Crosses at 2. All right, I'm not going to worry too much about the other points. It's just asking for a sketch. All right, and find the equation for the line tangent to the curve at x is equal to 3. So here is 2, x is 2, here's x is 3. So we want to find this equation, right, the line for this tangent, okay? So to find that equation, what do we need to find to write the equation of the line? So tangent line, not line, but line. We need a point and a slope, or 2 points, right? Point and slope, or 2 points. We have a point. At x is 3, what is the y value? So we can go ahead and find that out. At x equals to 3, y is equal to 3 times 3 minus 2 to the power of 1/3, right? That's 3 times 3 minus 2 is 1 to the 1/3 power. 1 to the 1/3 is just 1, that's 3. So the point here is 3 comma 3. Okay? So we have a point. What's the slope? Well, the slope we can find by using y prime, right, is going to give us the slope function. So use the power rule to find y prime, and that's equal to 1/3 drops down, multiplies by 3 and cancels out, so that's equal to x minus 2, and then subtract 1 from the power, right, so it's 1/3 minus 1, or negative 2/3, right, 1/3 minus 1 is equal to negative 2/3. All right, so what is the slope then at x equals to 3? At x equals to 3, y prime, right, that's our slope. I can even say m is equal to y prime at 3, which is equal to 3 minus 2 to the power of negative 2/3. And that's just 1 to the power of negative 2/3. And 1 to any power is 1, right? So let's go ahead and we have our point and our slope, m equals to 1. So let's make the equation of the line. We can use the point slope form and plug in our known. So y minus 3 is equal to our slope of 1 times x minus 3, right? All right, so we can even use this, like factor the 1. Well, it's the same. Y minus 3 is equal to x minus 3. Add 3 to both sides, and we just get y is equal to x. Okay? So this is the equation of the tangent line to the curve at x is equal to 3. Right? Tangent line at x is equal to 3. All right. So we did the first part, right? Find the equation for the tangent line at x is equal to 3. Then find another point on the curve with the same slope as the tangent. Alright, so how can we do this? One way to do this algebraically is to know, well, here is our slope function, right? Y prime is equal to x minus 2 to the power of negative 2/3. And where does this slope function equal to, what was the slope here? The slope was 1, right? Where is this equal to 1? So that's one way to do it. A quick way to do it, and then just solve for x, right? Another quick way to do it is to notice, what do you notice about our curve? Y is equal to 3 times the cube root of x minus 2, right? So when we graphed it, it looks like this, right? Well, if you notice that there is some symmetry, right, we shifted it to the right too, so there's symmetry right here. It's odd, right? You can rotate it around. So instead of going 1 to the right of that and going up, if you went 1 to the left at x equals to 1, and this point right here then would have the same slope as this point. Is that true? Okay, so let's go ahead and check this, right? Let's check it algebraically. So solving this for x, let's just take both sides to the power of negative 3/2, right? So x minus 2 is equal to 1 to the power of 3/2 is 1. Add 2 to both sides, and that gives us x is equal to 3, right? So what do we do then? Well, we have to notice that two things. Let me go ahead and show you. X minus 2 to the power of negative 2 over 3. Well, that's the same as x minus 2, because we have to be careful when we do this, because this should be actually plus or minus is what I'm getting at, because this is squared and 1/3, right? This is just the same thing as negative 1/3 power squared, right? So if we were going to take the square root of both sides, we would have to make this plus or minus 1. So let's go ahead and fix that. Then this is going to break into two things, one being x is 3 and one being x minus 2 is equal to negative 1, right? When we add 2 to both sides, we get x is equal to 1. Alright, so there's where we see this is true, right? Our tangent line at x is equal to 1 then is also going to be y is equal to x, right? So you can go ahead and check that. Tangent line at x is equal to 1, right? We have the tangent y prime, right? We have the slope function is equal to x minus 2 to the power of negative 2/3, right? At x is equal to 1, y prime is equal to 1 minus 2 to the negative 2/3 power, and that's equal to negative 1 to the negative 2/3 power, which is equal to 1, right? You can even plug in your calculator. Home, negative 1 to the power of negative 2 over 3, that's 1. Okay, so there we verified it, and let's just make sure we answered the question, because the other point is, where is it equivalent, right? Sketch of the graph, we did that. We found the tangent line. Then find another point on the curve with the same tangent. Okay, so the other point is at 1, comma, well, what's the output? When you plug in 1 to our function, right? Let's go ahead and we have x at x equals to 1. Y now, not y prime, is equal to 3 times 1 minus 2 to the 1/3, right? That's going to be 3 times negative 1 to the 1/3. Negative 1 to the 1/3 is negative 1, so that's equal to negative 3, right? We can use our calculator to check. Negative 1 to the 1/3 power, negative 1, so that's negative 3. So the point is going to be for here is 1 comma negative 3 is the point that it has the same tangent as it did at the point 3, at x equals 3. Alright, so this ends CPM Calculus Chapter 3, number 154.